Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Graveyard Shift. I'm your host, Max Kellerholz, and with me today we have...
Kat.
And Allie.
And today we are going to be covering a very specific subgenre in horror, the vampire movie genre, or subgenre I should say, which basically includes various types of vampires, some romantic, some very animalistic, some scientific, some very fantastic. Just to get us started, when I say the word vampire, what is the first thing that usually comes into your guys' mind?
For me, I think of Edward from Twilight or Dracula.
Got it.
Yeah, I would say the same thing, pretty much.
Okay.
I just think about, like, blood and fangs. I don't know.
Yeah, you bring up something interesting there with, like, the weakness aspect, because, honestly, varies from story to story. Like, sometimes they're allergic to garlic, sometimes they're not. Sometimes silver has an effect on them, sometimes it doesn't. Holy water, depending on if they're scientific or if they're fantastical, there's a whole religious element you have to deal with. And that's kind of the fun of vampires, is you can take the general idea, which is there's blood-sucking bastards, and just take them and do whatever you want with them. I have a question, because you both mentioned Dracula. Do any of you, like, have an image in your head when you think of Dracula? Or, like, do you know, when I say the word Dracula, what's the first thing you think of? Like, what is the type of person?
I imagine, like, a tall figure wearing, like, a cape, I guess.
Mhm.
Dark hair, very pale, kind of creepy. I don't know. Red eyes.
I think of Hotel Transylvania, happy Dracula guy. So I guess I just come from a very happy place.
Both very fair. It's interesting because, like, everything that Allie described with, like, the figure and everything that, and what the Hotel Transylvania version is parodying, all kind of derives from, like, the 1930s Dracula starring Bela Lugosi. Honestly, if you even haven't ever seen this movie, you've seen pictures, because they plaster that guy's face all over Universal stuff. And whenever you, like, see, like, a children's, like, version of Dracula, it's basically Bela Lugosi with, as Allyson described, like, the red eyes, the cape, the long figure, even though I don't believe Bela Lugosi was that tall. Yeah, but that 1930s version basically kind of put that character on the map and was just like, oh, we're doing horror now. And in the 1930s, like, this was the Great Depression era, so it was just like, people did not know what to think of, like, with horror and stuff like that. And this guy was like, boom, Dracula. One other version of Dracula I just kind of briefly mentioned that I really like is Christopher Lee's version throughout the 1960s and 70s. Great version. Very suave, very mannerful, very... is also the first Dracula to really start actually portraying blood on screen. So that's cool, because they were like, we have red, and we're going to use it now, because we're in color. But, speaking of Draculas, I believe the one that we're going to talk about today regarding, like, the more romantic vampire idea is Bram Stoker's Dracula, which I believe me and Allie are at least going to talk about for a little bit. I don't know how much you know about this version or what you read up on. The Bram Stoker's Dracula by Francis Ford Coppola, I wouldn't say like a one-for-one, but a very good adaptation of the book. It's a very beautiful looking movie in that aspect too. But Allyson, I kind of wanted to get your opinion on the character of Dracula in that and what you might have found interesting.
Not gonna lie, he kind of looked kind of goofy. I don't know. The overall aesthetic of the movie was pretty cool, though. I like the vibe.
It's very colorful. Like, the film, watching it, like, now, it's like, oh my god, like, movie really pops out. I also really like Gary Oldman's interpretation of Dracula, kind of a little bit more European style of the Bela Lugosi version with the accent. Has anybody here ever, like, bothered to read the Dracula book?
No, but it sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I have not.
I haven't read the whole thing. I'm always very busy. It's an interesting way to tell a story with, like, news articles and journal entries. I honestly really like the movie. The only thing that I can't fully get on board with, and I love the guy, Keanu Reeves' accent is not good.
I don't know, like, what's wrong with it? Was it, like, not accurate, or was it just, like, not consistent, or?
It's a little bit of everything. Keanu Reeves he has a dude bro surfer kind of accent. So him doing a very posh British accent didn't really work. I think he's good in the movie. It's just that the accent is very noticeable, and I kind of giggle every time I hear him. But then again, there's a lot of weird dialogue in the film too, so it's not like all his fault. Everybody's doing a weird fucking accent in that movie. Kind of moving out of the classic Dracula and stuff like that, like the most recent Nosferatu. Which, if do any of you know the Nosferatu joke from SpongeBob?
Yes.
I do not.
I don't know if you ever watched it, but it was like, it's the part where when who was turning off the light, and they have basically a still from the movie flicking a light on and off, and that's Nosferatu.
Oh, okay. I remember that scene, and I remember always being like, "What the fuck?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like, I did not know what that was.
Yeah,
but now, okay,
that's
cool.
Version is the original 1920s Nosferatu. The old silent film. Honestly, it's weird to look at because the makeup doesn't look like makeup because it's that old film, so it just looks like a dude with a fucked up face. And so it's just like, ugh. Like, whenever you watch it now, it's kind of creepy because it is silent and the dude just looks weird. So I was really curious how they were going to do a modern adaptation when we already know what this guy looks like. And Kat, you watched a little bit of Nosferatu, the 2024 version. Is there anything that you took away from?
Yeah, so I saw that there's a lot of themes popping up that were similar to my job that I see, where there's codependency issues and a lot of trauma bonding, and there's a lot of abusive relationship dynamics happening.
Yeah, it's an interesting movie because, like, what I find kind of fascinating about, like, the reaction online to the movie is that, like, people buy the relationship even though, Kat, you know what he looks like, but Allyson, have you seen this new version, what he looks like?
I have not. I know the actor in real life is like kind of hot, but they probably don't make him look hot in that. I have no idea. I haven't seen it.
You say that, but I have seen some shit online where people are like, yeah, would. It's weird.
It's the same actor from It, right? The Pennywise?
Bill Yep. Same guy. Honestly, if you want to look up the image right now, live reaction would be really funny. But
I'm gonna do that right now.
Yeah.
I'm looking right now. He looks creepy. I don't know. He's got like these long, slender fingers. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that's the thing about Nosferatu is that, like, unlike most vampires, Nosferatu is, like, intentionally made to look gothic and creepy and otherworldly, whereas, like, Dracula and the one that Allyson was talking about very much is meant to kind of look like a guy, and then at some moments he'll kind of monster out, whereas, like, Nosferatu's, like, always monster. One thing I appreciate is that they don't do, like, the straight up, like, a 1-for-1 adaptation of the original Nosferatu with, like, the pointed ears and the really emaciated face and the buck teeth kind of look. Like, they went, like, let's make him look plague-ridden and European. But it's funny because with the stuff Kat was talking about with, like, the relationship and the codependency issues, it's a really twisted love story. Like this weird love triangle between, I forgot her name, Ellen? Is it Ellen?
I don't remember off the top of my head. Sorry.
Okay.
One sec. Ellen.
Ellen. Okay, that's right. Ellen. Fuck, now I forgot the guy's name. It's fine. Nicholas Hoult and Nosferatu. It's a weird love triangle thing going on where, like, the only thing that's keeping Ellen to Count Orlok is this weird trauma angle that Kat was talking about, and the weird codependency that they have. And yeah, it's like a really interesting way to take the movie. It's also really fucking horny. Like, it is a movie that is just like, at any moment people are just gonna start fucking.
We love that.
Yes, we do. I hate that this is going to be an ongoing theme throughout most of the Graveyard Shift this year, but you do see his penis. Nosferatu's.
Okay, now I gotta watch it.
I figured.
I'm sorry.
Let
me add
more. No, you're good. You're good. I mean, hey, if you want to know a little fun behind the scenes fact, apparently the guy who plays like Ellen's husband, Nicholas Holt, was given the plastic mold or like the silicone mold of the dick to be like hung up. It was like it's in a frame, and he's just like, yeah, I just got that hanging on my wall now.
Wow.
Like the director is just like, here you go. But yeah, like again, like just other things I want to talk about with just Nosferatu. It's unlike Bram Stoker's Dracula. This movie embraces the monotone colors in a really interesting way. It almost looks like a black and white film at some points, but it's also really pretty. It's directed by Robert Eggers, so he did movies like The Lighthouse. He did movies like The Witch, the one with Anya Taylor-Joy. I don't know if any of you have ever seen any of those movies. I don't know how much horror fanatics you guys are.
I haven't seen it, but it's on my list. The Witch.
I love horror movies, but I have not seen either one of those.
Okay. Well, I'll say this. I know The Witch is really good. However, I think the movie that you two might want to watch is The Lighthouse because it stars Robert Pattinson in it, which kind of segues us into our next topic, which I'm just going to sit back and kind of let you guys gush about Twilight.
Oh, God. What do you want to know?
First of all, when did you guys get into Twilight?
I was a preteen. And let me say, like, watching it as a preteen and watching it as an adult is two completely different experiences. I ignored like all the red flags, but then I rewatch it and I'm like, whoa, like, no, this is not okay.
The first time I watched it was in a movie theater. I think it was the last movie that I watched first.
Jesus.
And it was because my cousin had brought me to the movie theater to watch it, and she wanted to see the last movie, and she wanted to bring me, and she said that I would definitely love this series since I'm a romance fanatic. And I watched it with her. I was completely confused. And then when I started getting interested in it, I started reading the books before I even watched the movies.
I do like the books. I will say that.
I think the books are much better than the movies, to be honest.
I agree with that.
Why do you guys think that?
I don't know. It just really goes into depth. Like, I especially like Midnight Sun, which is basically Twilight, but from Edward's perspective. And yeah, it's pretty good. He yaps a lot. Like, it is a long ass book. Like, if you compare it from the like original like Bella's perspective, it's like literally like 3 times as long. So yeah, Edward's a certified yapper.
He also, I feel like, speaks so much more maturely than Bella does in his book. And given, yes, his age and everything makes sense. But I enjoyed reading his perspective and like seeing the events that unfolded only through his eyes instead of always reading Bella's long monologues and like gushing over the guy and stuff. I don't know. It was just like Bella sometimes annoyed me. And then when they made her in the movies, there were some points in it where they were accurate with how Bella was awkward and quiet and like standing out to be like the black sheep or whatever. But then in other terms, she just like, maybe it's Kristen Stewart, but I just hate the way her facial expressions are and the constant open mouth. That just ticks me off. Like, that's not how I imagine Bella at all from the book, when she would be like mouth agape the entire movie.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. Like, book Bella and movie Bella are two completely different people.
Knowing what I vaguely know of the series, I know a couple things, like one involving a baby and a werewolf that is very weird. The other is that Bella becomes a vampire at one point. So did you guys like that interpretation in the movie? Or was it just like, no, I still hate her?
I don't know. I mean, she was gonna become a vampire at some point, so I was kind of glad to see that at least. But I don't really like how it happened. Like, low-key, I didn't really like the whole like concept of like the pregnancy and stuff. Because low-key, I got what's the fear of pregnancy or being pregnant? I don't know. But low-key, seeing her like in those scenes where she was like looking really rough, I was just like, oh my god. And the birth scene, just no. It disturbed me a lot. So
I don't blame you. I agree. It was pretty traumatic the way they did it, but they did a really good job at making it look traumatic. Like, it was so good that it was so bad to watch in a way. Like, it was realistic with the doll they used to make Bella look very like old and like drained and stuff. But I think they did a really good job at making Bella a vampire and embracing her new lifestyle in that movie, like towards the end. And she was like able to look at details and like the way they zoom in and out with the camera to show her looking into details around the room and stuff was really cool to watch. So highly recommend kind of like watching and appreciating that kind of cinematic style from the director. Yeah, the whole werewolf and baby thing was very weird. Like there's so many theories out there now about why like Jacob was so triangulated in Bella and Edward. And like people make jokes that like Jacob was like attracted to Edward because Edward was carrying the baby, so to speak. It's kind of funny in like the fandoms.
There's something about you I just can't get my mind off.
The fact that Jacob only liked Bella because he had the freaking egg inside of her, like that's so crazy.
The more I hear Twilight fans try to make that work and not sound creepy is genuinely more disturbing.
People are actually like trying to justify it.
Some.
Wow, that's wild.
Also, Twihard fans end up zooming into the details of things so much that they end up trying to like dissect what sex was like between Bella and Edward too. Because I mean they describe Edward as being like porcelain in a way, and for him to like have sex with Bella, they're like saying, oh, so like would you just be hearing like people throwing like porcelain around a shop at the ground, and like that's what sex sounds like with Edward, and while Bella's also a vampire, so it's two like teapots clashing together. Like it's just crazy how many
just fucking
yeah.
I'm just wondering how does Edward get hard though, or is he always hard?
That's also a theory. They're asking how did he get hard? How did he even ejaculate? And was his ejaculation cold? It's just like,
does it sparkle in the daylight?
Oh my god.
Look at my glow stick.
Not the glow stick.
Yikes.
Okay. If she would have chose Jacob, would it be considered a furry?
Yeah.
Or bestiality. One or the other. Okay, I kind of want to get your guys' opinion on various like differences they do to vampire lore in this series that I know about just from pop culture osmosis and from seeing stuff. What is your guys' opinion on the sparkling in the daylight?
Okay, I have a lot to say. I really don't like how they portrayed vampires because, okay, my biggest thing is they don't have fucking fangs.
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, that's not a vampire then, you know? And I heard that, okay, so apparently Stephanie Meyer is, like, Mormon or whatever, and there's, like, a creature Mormon lore, I don't know, and apparently the vampires were based off of those creatures rather than a traditional vampire, I guess. I haven't really looked too much into it, but that's what I've heard. But yeah, because obviously the vampires in Twilight are very different than the typical vampire for many reasons. But yeah, I don't know. I feel weird about the sparkly thing too. I
think it's so stupid. I'm gonna be real. It's so stupid.
I don't know. I just feel like vampires are supposed to die in the sunlight. That's the whole thing, you know. Like they're creatures of the night. But
the tragedy of it.
I also agree it's unrealistic to the narrative we have of vampires. I think they just inserted it for the beauty and aesthetics of Robert Pattinson's, body, and like also just like I know Stephanie Myers ended up saying in the book like his skin was so glossy and like whatever and like almost like glistening and all that, so like they wanted to portray it like that of him being almost like beautiful, but I agree that it's counterintuitive to like the narrative we have of vampires. And then I also think that it doesn't make sense with like how they make it where Edward comes out into the light to sparkle in front of the crowd in one movie, and he wants to expose himself so he can get killed by the Volturi. And it just didn't make sense that he'd have to just like unrobe himself in front of this crowd of fans and people.
Fans?
It just didn't make sense to me. Yeah, literally.
Just a bunch of $5 bills. I like how you said, like, oh yeah, they had to make Edward like pretty and beautiful, as if Robert Pattinson isn't. And to be fair, I wasn't a fan of the guy back then, but obviously, since I'm a huge fucking nerd, he's Batman.
I think something that is really cool about the series that I can appreciate is that most of the people in Edward's family have gifts of some sort. And I think that's really cool. And even Bella ends up, when she ends up finding out she's got a gift as well as a vampire. So I find that very interesting that sometimes people who do get turned into a vampire can find that their human existence actually portrayed some kind of gift, and it is like passed on into the vampire world too. So Bella, for example, finds out down the line she's a shield, and she doesn't realize this until she's turned, but Edward from the start knew that she had something about her that was like enticing but also difficult to read. And it translated to her being like a protective shield while in battle. And she can physically like put some kind of like shield around the entire family to make sure that they are unharmed or unaffected by other gifts that can hurt them, basically.
Allyson, do you have anything to say on that point?
Yeah, I do think the concept of the gifts is pretty cool. I feel like they don't really go into all of them though. Like I know like Jasper, for example, had like the ability to like affect their emotions, and I feel like there are some inconsistencies because like most of their gifts didn't affect Bella, but then in I think the second movie, he was able to affect her mood. So like some gifts work on her, I guess, which I felt like that was kind of like inconsistent. So it's kind of weird, but I don't know. I think the overall idea of gifts was pretty cool though.
I didn't know much about that because I haven't seen these movies, but it does bring up an interesting idea with like vampires as a whole. When you go in the more fantastical realm of vampires, you could do a lot of really cool things with what kind of magic do they know? Can they fly? Can they turn into bats? Can they turn into wolves? There's a lot of really cool things you can do with that I always appreciate when you do a fantastical vampire. Like, in Bram Stoker's Dracula, he has the ability to turn into a bat, a wolf, rats, that's a big one. And in Nosferatu, rats play a huge idea of like Count Orlok comes into an area, he brings with him a plague. So it's kind of interesting to see how in this franchise they kind of play with like vampire magic and all that kind of crap. But I don't know, I think that's pretty interesting.
Can I say something?
Please.
Have y'all seen the extended version of Twilight with like the deleted scenes? Because they haunt me. They keep me up at night, low key.
What do you mean?
Like, all I'm gonna say is the freaking chinchilla poop scene. I can't.
The fucking what?
I literally, my friend and I were watching Twilight, and she's like, "Oh, I have the extended version." I was like, "I've never seen that." And I was watching it, and some of these scenes, like deleted scenes, I was like, "What the fuck?" Like they were really like weird and like out of pocket. And there's this one scene. You gotta look it up, but like
clip on screen.
Bella, like I guess Edward has like this rain stick thingy, and Bella's like, "Oh, when I was younger, I made one, but I used chinchilla poop to make it." And I was just like, "That's so random and weird." Like what? I don't know. You gotta look up the scene. It's something else.
I used to make these rain sticks. Yeah. I had a chinchilla, and me and my mom used to make these out of the chinchilla's droppings and, you know, like paper towel rolls. Maybe that's weird.
I've never seen the extended scene of that at all, but I've seen behind the scenes more like that, and a few extended scenes that did match the book a little bit better, but that scene in particular does not match the book at all, and that just seems like it was like inserted for nothing.
Yeah, like it literally wasn't in the book at all. Like I was like, what is the point of this scene? Like it's so weird. I don't know.
I wonder if it was improv or someone actually wrote that.
Either way, I would be concerned.
I mean, it's cut. I mean, it's interesting for like an extended cut idea, but like overall, not like a big deal.
That wasn't the only weird scene that got deleted. There was a few weird ones. Like there was one where like Edward was like biting her finger or whatever. And there is one where I guess they were like in the hallway and talking, and Bella was kind of sassy, and it kind of gave Book Bella a little bit. And I was like, okay. And she basically was like telling Edward, like, oh, you wouldn't know what it's like to have friends, or like something like that. And I was like,
Damn.
bro, it's fucking funny as hell. So I do like that scene that they deleted. I wish they didn't delete that scene.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I have no good segue into this next part, but I guess like moving out of the more romantic vampire idea, which seems to be like the more popular version of a vampire, I would like to move into the quote unquote more animalistic vampire, which is more about like the pack mentality, the whole like these are creatures of the night, they feed off blood, like that kind of idea. And honestly, if I could recommend one movie that's like a full-on violent, great horror movie that's just like balls to the wall, just like we're going for it, 30 Days of Night. I love that movie. It has the best premise for a vampire movie ever. There's a town in Barrow, Alaska that for 1 month of the year, the sun does not rise. So a pack of vampires descends on this poor town and basically starts picking off members of the town one by one. And the survivors have to survive for 30 days any way they can. And it's based off a really cool comic. It's got this really cool style. It's bloody as hell. And the vampires in that are they're more animalistic in that like they're still people, but they scream, they roar. They don't have just like the two fang things. They got like a full mouth of just like a shark's teeth kind of idea. They have like their own special language. I just love the movie. It's really well done. And I found out that the director of 30 Days of Night went on to direct Twilight New Moon.
Interesting. I will say New Moon is my favorite out of the saga, so.
Okay. I don't know what happens in New Moon. I just know that one detail.
The one where Edward breaks up with her and is gone the whole movie, and then Jacob comes in and then Edward tries to kill himself. That pretty much sums up the whole movie.
Huh. Oh wait, is that where he like strips?
Yeah, it's because he thought Bella killed herself, so he wanted to be with her, so he tried to kill himself. So romantic.
Nothing problematic at all with that.
My favorite was probably Breaking Dawn just probably Breaking Dawn in general, part 1 and 2 of the movies, but also just in general, the books. They were really good, and that's where the iconic A Thousand Years song plays, and like we see the wedding, we see her like wake up as a vampire too. That's like one of my favorite scenes. So yeah.
All right. Can't escape Twilight. I guess if I can like talk about one other really cool vampire movie that just takes it in a really interesting way is this movie called Daywalkers. It's either Daywalkers, Daybreakers. Poster and title will be here. It's basically a movie about what if vampires took over the world and like they are now the dominant species and humans are all on the run and humans are basically treated like cattle.
It's just like my book. You know that I wrote a trilogy, right?
Yes,
it's like about
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the whole concept. So love that.
On screen here, link down below.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
No problem. But with this movie, it's very much a sci-fi premise. They don't really do a lot of the whole like fantastical elements of it. The thing that I like about this movie, instead of taking like the romantic angle of vampires and a commentary on like different kinds of relationships, this is more of a commentary on like very capitalistic beliefs of like, hey, if this one race of people were to take over, it wouldn't last long, like at all. Like it would start to break down. Things like nature would find a way to correct itself in an interesting way. And it's really good. The movie stars like Ethan Hawke, Willem Dafoe, Sam Neill from Jurassic Park. Just very fun movie. And the ending is amazing. Like once, like the cool thing they do with this movie is that like if you get staked, they just fucking explode. And so people are getting knocked back. It's just a very fun vampire movie that just takes a really cool premise and just goes with it. And the ending again is just amazing. Like how they figure out how to correct things, I'll just say. It's just really fun. And then, Allyson, I would like to get your opinions because I know you're the only one here who has seen it, even though we do have a review on our channel. What did you think of Sinners?
I thought it was really good. Like, it's like a unique concept that I feel like we haven't really seen before, I guess.
Yes.
Especially like the time period that it
Mhm.
takes place. I feel like that was really unique. And I don't know, there's a lot of elements about like how they portrayed the vampires that I thought was really cool. Like, I like the whole, like, oh, you have to ask permission to come inside, because I feel like that's like a really old kind of idea of like vampires, but I feel like you don't really see that that often, I guess. So I thought it was pretty cool that they brought that out.
Yeah, and how they use it to kind of comment on race, I find really interesting as well, especially like being allowed to come in and stuff like that. I like just the way they managed to like take those two different concepts and make it blend really well. I know in our review, me and Willow, which you can watch here, we go more into like a little bit of the social commentary of the whole movie, but just for this, I would just like to focus more on the vampire side, which I love. Remick is one of my favorite villains of 2025, and there's a lot of good villains so far we've had this year. I don't know what it is, but just seeing an Irish vampire on screen kind of made me feel represented in a weird way. I was like, my people. And I think the actor Jack O'Connell is just really good in the role. Like, he's really charismatic. You kind of believe why people would follow him. I mean, he dances really well. But yeah, the whole, like, I don't know, and like an idea of like cultural vampirism is just an interesting concept that I heard about, but it's nice to see a movie actually kind of go into it. But yeah, Sinners is just amazing. It's still my favorite movie of the year. I'd only say Superman is like a close second, just because every time I watch that, it just gets better and better for me. But Sinners is just amazing in my opinion. But yeah, is there anything else you want to say about Sinners, Allyson, before we start to kind of close this up?
I'm trying to think, because like it's been kind of like a while since I've seen it, and I only saw it one time. I do remember something that I noticed I thought was cool was like how they have their eyes, I guess.
Yes.
I don't know. I just like the way they look at nighttime, like how they kind of glow. I don't know. Just something about it was really cool. I really like how they designed the vampires and showed them.
So actually, there's a really cool behind the scenes detail about that. I'm glad you brought that up. Apparently, the director of this movie was inspired by Puss in Boots, the Last Witch.
What?
Yeah, he saw that movie
so random.
And he remembers Death. His eyes would kind of do that, and he was like, "I want to try that in my movie," and that's where the inspiration for that came from.
Like this, you ever seen this movie Puss in Boots: The Last Witch?
Yes, bro.
So all right.
Listen,
so I'll talk about influences on this movie.
Okay.
Right on this movie right here, Sinners.
Okay.
That's a massive one.
Puss in Boots?
Yeah.
On Sinners?
Think about the villain.
Death.
Think about his defining feature.
Oh, the eyes.
Yes.
Oh my god, bro.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Before we really start to wrap this whole video up, I kind of want to just throw it back out there to you guys. I don't know how many other vampire movies you have seen, but is there any that you just want to say, hey, I remember this one and I thought it was pretty cool? Do you want to say it right now? Mm-hmm.
The show, I don't know if you've seen it. It's called Midnight Mass. I really like they portrayed vampires in that. I thought it was really good.
I have not seen it, but the people behind it, it makes me want to see it.
You can watch it.
Okay.
It's good. Yeah. All I remember is I really liked it, and I thought it was really good.
Okay.
So
yeah, I like the people behind that show. They did The Haunting of Hill House and The Haunting of Bly Manor, a couple horror movies like Oculus. So I really like a lot of creative teams stuff. So I definitely want to check out Midnight Mass if whenever I can. What about you, Kat? Is there any like vampire thing you would just want to throw out there that you think is really cool?
This is a really big throwback, but I grew up watching The Little Vampire. It came out in 2000, and it was a really staple to my must-watch Halloween movies marathon. And The Little Vampire is pretty much like a little kid kind of movie. And
Wait,
is
that the kid with like the really thick frame glasses, blonde hair?
he kind of looks like Lewis from Meet the Robinson.
I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, okay. Wasn't that like a Disney Channel movie?
Probably.
Yeah, I remember. Oh my god, dude, fuck, you're bringing me back. Shit. Yeah, I vaguely remember that one. I can't really honestly, the most recent thing that film kind of reminds me of is like there's this YouTube group called Pretty Much It. They do commentary tracks on various Netflix and like originals and stuff like that, and they also did a commentary for this movie, and that's all I really remember at the moment. It's a really good video. I'll link it below or up top. Yeah, I don't know. I can't really think of like anything else to say about vampires other than like I just well, I mean, I guess I can mention Blade. Now that I think about it. But like Blade is more like, I don't know, like it has vampires, but I always see that as like a comic book movie first. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It's weird. Like they're really fun movies except for the third one. And Wesley Snipes kills it as the main character Blade. It's just they're really fun like martial arts vampire movies that if you just want to have a good time, go into them. I prefer the second one because that one just does a lot of really cool weird shit with vampire lore, with like these vampires that drink the blood of other vampires to get stronger, and they have like split mouths and then they bite people. Really cool shit. Really fun movie made by Guillermo del Toro. So yeah, I guess that's the last one I can say. Just before we wrap up, of the types of vampires that we talked about in this review or in this video, which one do you guys gravitate towards? The animalistic, the more sci-fi take, or the romantic? I think I know where this is going, but I just want to hear why.
Well, I think you know what my answer is gonna be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I do like the vampires to be like attractive because I think that's like what makes them dangerous, I guess. Because that's how like they lure their victim in, I guess. I don't know. Personally, I like that. I like them looking more human-like, I guess. But I don't. They gotta have fangs, though. I'm sorry. But
do you not find Nosferatu attractive?
Oh no, he's fine as hell. Like his bald head and everything.
Bounce on it, crazy style.
I would also agree with Allie with the romantic, of course. And who doesn't love a tall, dark guy?
Yes. I'm sorry, I'm just out here dying. We love tall, dark guys.
Sinners review right here. All right. I think we can wrap it up there. Thank you guys. Thank you two so much for being a part of this video. I had a lot of fun hearing you guys get out of pocket. Is there anything you guys want to plug before we wrap this video up?
My YouTube channel is miss.aly.uwu if you like ASMR. If you like cosplay, my Instagram is miss.aly.uwu. So, yeah.
If you wanted to stalk a page that I used to be a host of, you can go on Facebook and type in the search bar Twilight Forever fan page. And I was the person who was in charge of updating that page all in like 2013, and then I fell off. But I've got a lot of followers on it still for some weird reason.
You should post this video on that when it comes out to see what they say.
That's a good idea. I should do that. Just like come out of hiding. I've got 7,700 followers on it.
Please, we need it. We need it. Please. I got really fucking animated there. I guess we're still doing graveyard shift stuff throughout the month of, or throughout the last week of October. Thank you all for watching this video. If you want to help support the channel in any way, please subscribe to our Patreon for $5 a month. I swear I'm going to put stuff on the Patreon. I will make a video saying what's going to be on there. It's just logistically right now, we can't do anything with it, but any way you guys can help support, that way we can really push the channel in a really fun direction. I just want to give a big shout out to Allie, just real quick. The face that you've been seeing throughout this entire video is hers. And so thank you for doing a photo shoot with me. That was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. We've just been staring at you the entire time. Yeah, like, subscribe, and share. Have a good day. Bye.